Oh, welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're down here working on this JD-B connecting rod. We got a pair of them. They basically got run without oil for a long time. Don't know how long. That one there is pretty well wiped out. They still have babbitt in them, but I took the shims out. We have machined the caps, took a few thou off them, machined the rods. This one here, we took more off the rod than the other one by a little bit. Almost 20 thousandths more. So we'll probably favor boring it towards the cap end a little bit. This one here is fairly close. Once we get the big end done, we're going to turn over and do the small end. I am going to put a couple of angle irons here. And, well, I'll probably try it without. But I got a feeling I'm going to get a harmonic out here. So I'll probably have to put an angle iron here and here with a couple of bolts through it that are threaded and just take tension on it. Not sure, but I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think I can do that without a support. So, because it is floating out here. So, anyway, we'll get on to it. Okay, we'll see what happens here. We'll do the first pass. We'll slow this down into the back gear. I think I got a little too slow right now, but yeah, quill feed is in. We are on medium. Let's see what happens. Right now we're just cutting babbitt for the most part. Yeah, just the front and the back. So we'll take this one. I'll do a measurement just for fun. And yeah, I'll bring you back in a few minutes. Now we're taking off just a couple of thousandths just to see if it's going to chatter. I'm going to go extremely light, and I only have to take about 10 thousandths off. So it's going to be multiple passes. But it is free hanging out there all the way, you know, basically from here, but it's got a little bit of tension on it. This is not overly tight, not enough to distort this enough to matter. Probably a machinist would say, oh no, you got to prop it. Probably should be, but we're going to go this way here. Yeah, she'll be fine. So this right here is a 3,000th pass. It should be my finished pass. We'll see how it feels there when I get done. It's cut and smooth as glass though, so I'm pretty happy about that. I thought I might have to support it, but there's no vibration, so pretty nice. Okay, I just made my last pass. I came out to 417.3. So 6, 6, 12, 13, yeah, so we're 6/10 clearance, and because that's the actual wrist pin diameter. So I would have liked to have had 3/4, but I'm not going to chase it. It's a smooth enough finish that wrist pin starts a little funky there at the beginning, but I'd call it a perfect fit. So I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. This is cooled down. I'm actually going to have to reset on zeros back here and move my cutter head back around. I got to chase 2 thousandths on this end here. This is supposed to be, let's see what we come up with. Yeah, so I am at 5, 6, 7. I'm at 97, and it's supposed to be 900 thousandths. And I'm actually 897. So I'm actually 3 thousandths tight on this big end, which isn't much to chase with a boring bar, but I got to chase it because that will take forever to hone 3 thousandths out of a steel rod, or, you know. So anyway, I'll set up on this. I'll bring you back here when we get her done. hopefully it comes out as smooth as this. I mean, that is a nice finish. So I just did this one here, took 3/1000 off it, and came out with 906 tenths. So I'm in the sweet spot. Could have been a tenth lower, but it's good enough for B. And what we're going to do afterwards, I'm not going to do it right now because I have to split the halves, but we have to chase these indexing tabs. I could grind those off. A lot of modern engines do not have them anymore. A lot of people used to think that they were to keep it from spinning. Actually, it's the compression of the rod itself clamping on it that keeps it from spinning. Those are just for line-up, for ease of assembly. And I like to have them in there. So we'll do some mathematics later on to figure how far off the deck they need to be. And we'll put them in. I've done it before. It's pretty simple. I use a 1/4-inch Woodruff key cutter and just bump into it 70-80 thousandths, enough so that that'll set into it, and it's good to go. So I'm going to take this out, put the other one in, same procedure. We'll just take our time. I've been quite a while doing this, chasing back and forth, but yeah, it's coming out real good. Actually really happy with it. So I'll bring you back later, show you the progress. Got to tell you a little story. Back when I was first out of high school, well, I'm not even going to say the guy's name. The guy's dead now, but I'm not going to say his name. But he used to rebuild Model A's, and a lot of them. And I was up there fitting his wrist pins one day. He was putting about 1/2 thousandths, 3/4 thousandths clearance on them. I was sitting there with the honed end. I was right there close, so I took the wrist pin and just went through. And he was standing there and he says, "Well, how come you got them so loose?" And I said, "What do you mean it's so loose?" I says, 1/2 thousandths clearance, 1/2 thousandths clearance. I says, "You want between 1/2, 3/4 on these?" I says, "It's going to fall right through when you get done." He said, "No, it won't." He says, "You have to push them," he said, "with 1/2 thousandths clearance." And I argued with that guy for a long time. Clearance is clearance. If you've got a true 1/2 thousandths clearance and everything's round, I mean, it'll drop through. No drag at all, you know. Clearance is clearance. And it's funny how you run into them situations once in a while. Boy, you can't make somebody believe what you're telling them. And yeah, it's kind of a funny thing that day. And had another deal with a 1928 straight 8 Packard, and I had fit all the bearings by hand. I may have told you this story way back, but we got all done with it and put an oil pressure gauge on it, and it had, I want to say, 8 pounds at the oil pressure sending unit. He was there that day that we was turning it over, and he said, "You got to take it apart." He said, "There's something wrong with it." I said, "No, I don't think so." I says, "It's at the end of the oil train." I said, "You're all the way over here in the camshaft." I said, "It's going through 1/2 dozen bearings," and I said, "It's not even tight on this end." I said, "It's leaking everywhere." I said, "You can't have, 50, 60 pounds out here on the end of this thing." And he said, "No, hydraulics is hydraulics." He said, "It'll carry through." Boy, I'll tell you what, you could not make that guy believe it. And the boss finally sat down with him and explained it to him how when you go from an actual oil galley with pressure on it and start going through bearings, you will get volume, but you will not get very much pressure. And anyway, it ended up when he finally put it in this Packard, which now is in a museum somewhere, the gauge went right up almost to high. And he says, "Well, how can that be with only 15 pounds? I said, "You probably only got an 18-pound gauge in this thing." But it didn't have an actual pounds. It just, it just was a gauge. So, kind of an interesting couple of things. Anyway, I'm going to get back to this. I can bullshit all day. So, anyway, I'll show you my progress when I get all ready to do the tabs later on. So this is the last one I just did. I had a friend show up, so I didn't have the camera running, but we have 6/10 on this one and 6/10 on the other one. They came out exactly 6/10, and these here are both, yeah, they were 6/10 over on these too. Kind of odd that I hit it within tenths of each other, but it was just luck. It wasn't really skill. It's just, you know, I tapped the gauge along, so that's close, and it just happened to be there. Sometimes just well off be lucky is, you know, good. So anyway, the rod's done. Tomorrow I'm going to start on boring out the cylinders. So bring you along for that tomorrow. So keep safe, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.